Yeah. Wow. Did you hear that?
I did.
That's pretty daggum good answer right there. It's more applicable in life. Did I say that like you said? So it applies to life more than we really realize. Yes? Yeah. So how does it apply to your life? How's leadership going to apply to your life? Right now, it seems like there's no way this is ever going to come back and benefit me. Yes, sir?
It makes you a better person.
I love that answer too. It makes you a better person. Wow. Blowing my kids out of the water. Makes you a better person. How does it make you, Bella, how does it make you a better person? I've got to pick on you. I'm going to start with you and then I'll get to the rest of mine in a minute. I agree exactly with what these guys have said. How does it make you a better person? Nick, what do you think?
Because it gives you more responsibilities.
Okay, you do have, with the leadership skills that you've got, you do have some more responsibility.
And so it pushes you to be a better person.
It pushes you to be a better person. So, but wait a minute. I know some leaders, and I've heard some, and I've read some leaders that haven't been very good. You know, I could sit here and name some. So is it an automatic give me that if you learn some leadership skills that you're going to use it for the good of the world? No, it's not. So hopefully, you know, as you're developing to become a better person and you learn these skills, hopefully you'll decide to use some of these things for good and not just to serve yourself. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And we don't have to give any examples of that. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say, without leadership, you don't know where to go.
Right. You don't really know where to go. You're kind of rudderless. You're just along for the ride. And there's plenty of people I look at in our community that's just along for the ride. They're just there. They just exist. And they exist a lot of times to serve themselves and their own needs. But what if we saw people that would change the way that they think, and we took people that are really interested in being helpful in making our world a better place, making our society a better place, making our county a better place, making our communities a better place, and we pair that with skills to be able to do it. And this is part of it. And I start this way because I'm passionate about this simple activity today. I'm passionate about it because it gives you the skills and the tools necessary to be able to fit into this society and make it a better place if you choose to do so. Now, I'm presupposing that you're going to use these skills for good things. I hope that you will. I hope that you make a good living for yourself, but I hope that you also go on further and make a better community. Because if you did, we all benefit, right? We all benefit. If you were members of the Board of Education here in a few years, our school system would be a better place, maybe, right? If you were a county commissioner in a few years, Cleveland County would be a better place, right? And we could go even further. But if you don't know how to have the skills to be able to be a good leader within our community, but you have the right heart about it, then you're powerless to be able to get anything done. I love seeing young folks here take on leadership responsibilities and sharpen the saw a little bit, because I do know that it benefits them. But I do know that it can benefit our world. And that's kind of why I'm passionate about it. So today's skill is learning how to participate in a business meeting. Now, my class has discussed that a little bit, so I'm going to hit yours, Ms. Harris, just a little bit, so that they can give me some examples. And I'm already throwing some out. Where do you see business meetings take place? And I want my folks to hold off just a second, because I've asked you that already. Yes, sir.
Like in a building, like a workplace. Well, I'm like school.
Right. You've given me a couple of examples already. In the workplace, we do see some business meetings. Big corporations have a board of directors, and they direct the operations of that big business. That's one of the examples I had from some of my students. I can't remember if it was this class. That was the example that was thrown out. In the workplace, you see that. Yes.
Business meetings can happen anywhere there's business.
Yeah, anywhere there's business. Workplace is one. I mentioned the school board is one, right? Our student organization, right, Michael, we do this business meeting. Yes, every Friday afternoon, the FFA student organization meets. Those business meetings get kind of boring sometimes. Why? Ah, we're all friends in here. We ain't gonna go back and tell anybody. Why did they get a little boring? So, now, come on in. I'm about to shut the door in this young lady's face. Why do they kind of get boring a little bit? It's okay. We're not airing our dirty laundry on the front porch, but we do have young high school students that are taking a leadership role in the FFA student organization. Why do those meetings get boring? I'll give you my critique in just a second. But I want to hear yours first. And they're probably interested. Because it happens a lot of times with adults, yes? Yeah. You ready for me to add in?
Yeah.
You're being kind today. You just don't want to. Sometimes I just don't think we try to get anything done. And if you could bring some of these skills that we're going to learn today to the table, you can get some stuff done. It seems like we just sit around and talk a lot, but we don't decide anything concrete. Today, we're going to give you some tools to decide some things concrete if you're ever in a business meeting. School board, church, work, wherever, student organization, and so forth. So we're going to give you some skills. We've got one item on our agenda for our business meeting today. One item on our agenda. Jessica, what you think of the item on our agenda today is? We're going to do something. That's what business meetings should do. It shouldn't be, Michael, we're just sitting around talking. But a business meeting should get something done. What do you think, Jessica, is going to be the item on our agenda today? We're going to make some food. All right. So if you do a good job using the skills that you've learned in Canvas and that stuff that you've watched through the videos, if you do a good job with that, what are you going to be able to do today? Get something done, yes, but what specifically? Make some food. So let's try to do that. We're going to do this today in let me give you an SAT word or ACT word. Seriatim. Anybody define that? You ever heard of it? Whoa, it's Latin. We're going to do it in step by step, in a series. Okay, so we're not going to say, hey, let's just put it all together and we got it. Bam, it's done. We're going to do it seriatim. We're going to do it step by step, and we're going to put the ingredients that we have in today to accomplish one task. That's to make food, and specifically that's to make trail mix. That's the only item on our agenda. We're not going to do anything else. We got one item on our agenda, and we're going to make trail mix. And we're going to do it in a fashion seriatim. That's a key word. What do we say that's defined as? Step by step. So, Mr. Harris, where did you come up with this big fancy word? I was in a church meeting a few months ago, and the moderator in the church meeting said that word. And I'm like, oh, caught me off guard, and I had to make sure that I understood. So maybe we've learned a term together today that'll help us. We're going to do it in a step-by-step fashion, not just all at one big lump sum. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got a pot. I've got some gloves, so we're going to be nice and clean. Everything's washed. We've got some cups and so forth. We're going to put your stuff in it. Now, what we've got to do, and let me put this stuff out of the way so you can see the ingredients that I've got. We'll come back to this stuff a little bit later. I got my copy of this. What is that? Robert's Rules. What does Robert's Rules do?
Gives you a lot of rules.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of rules on how to have a good business meeting. So Henry Roberts wrote that. We've got that. We've got our gavel. Do we have to have a gavel? No, but FFA's always got a gavel. What do they use it for?
To make something funny.
Yeah, and I can make some noise when I do it, right? Yeah. You getting annoyed yet? Okay, good. I'll keep doing that. So, all right. Here's the ingredients that you can choose from today. And again, seriatim, we're not going to just lump them all together. You've got to decide which ones that you want. We have some honey nut toasted oats, the Laurel Lynn. That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff right there. This is an item that you may choose to put in your trail mix. You may not. We've got a box of seedless raisins. Again, the Laurel Lynn, the good stuff. M&M's. That's the real brand right there. That's not fake stuff. That's the real stuff right there. And it's the sharing size too. So what does that mean? Sharing size.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, we're going to hopefully you'll decide we'll share that with you today. We have mini marshmallows. Good for trail mix maybe? Yes? No? Till they melt. We'll microwave or trail mix. And the last ingredient I've got is lightly salted the Laura Lynn Party peanuts. Now, what you're gonna do today is decide what goes in your trail mix. Now, I want you to think outside the box just a little bit. Has anybody got a nut allergy? Something we need to think about. Remind me if you got a nut allergy. If you do, or you don't like something, think about being creative about the way that you can have this material. Again, we're gonna make trail mix, but again, I encourage you to think outside the box a little bit because you've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients to be able to use for this class. We're not gonna take it back if you don't want it, but you gotta figure out how you can be able to utilize this, either in your trail mix or some other way. Are you ready? Yes, ma'am.
You need to stand up and what's your name?
Do we need to stand up? What's your name?
Yeah, like, are you Mr. Chairman?
Oh, good question. What do you think? She's asked a good question. I got the answer to it. I want to check with you first. She says, what is she talking about? How do you get recognition from the chair? Who's the chair, by the way? Joe, who's the chair? That's going to be me. Sometimes it depends, it could be president if you're in a certain group, but today, this is a committee meeting, I'll be the chairperson. So what Bella's asking is, how do you get recognition from the chair so that you can speak? You remember that, right? Because if you want to get something done, you've got to get recognition from the chairperson. How do you do that? Remind me what you've seen in your material. How do you get recognition from the chair? She said, raise your hand, stand up. How do you get recognition? What would be appropriate for a small group like this? Okay, and what you're going to simply do, you're going to speak up and you're going to say, Mr. Chairman. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to recognize you. I can call you by name. Some of you I'm not familiar with because we're in Ms. Harris's room today. Some of you I'm not familiar with, so I may just point to you. Once I either call your name or give you some sort of visual recognition, then you have the floor. What does that mean? You can speak. Can anybody interrupt you?
No.
No, not while you're speaking. Not while you have the floor. They can't interrupt you. And you've got to get recognition that way. So once you have recognition, what are some things that you can do? All right, you can tell your opinion on an item of business. So you can tell how you think. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Why? And then tell your friends how to vote. I encourage you to vote for this motion to put pickles in our trail mix. You can do that. So tell your friends how to vote. Do you have to? No. Can you ask questions? Yes. But let me point this out. When you're discussing or talking or you get recognition, who are you talking to? This is elevated parliamentary procedures right here. See if anybody can catch this one. When you say, Mr. Chairman, and I point to you, who are you talking to? You're talking to the chair. But what if somebody asks a question? I got to give them an answer. You're always addressing the chair. Wonder why, Michael, they decided to do that. That's in Robert's rules. You're addressing the chair when you talk. Why do they do that? Okay. Okay. Might take a good stab at it. What if I did this? I'm a floor member. I'm like you guys. And Addie says something in the business meeting, and I say, Addie, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's stupid. Well, number one, that's disrespectful. That's against the rules of parliamentary procedure. But I addressed her, and I attacked her, right? It's a little bit more appropriate to talk to the chair. So, Mr. Chairman. Yes? Mr. Chairman, I think this is a bad idea. I think that putting pickles in trail mix is just nasty. It's going to make me sick. It's not a good idea. I urge you to vote against it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you're talking to the chair and you're not talking to each other. That helps to kind of streamline and make things a little bit smooth too. So once you can get the recognition, you're talking to the chair. What is the key thing? I skipped over this one just a little bit, but if you want to get something done, what are the special words that you're going to use to get something done? And I tell you, our adults can't get this right because I watched a school board meeting here recently and they said the wrong thing. It just makes me, it's just like, oh, what do you say to get something done? If you want
to do it step by step.
Step by step. But what if I want to get a certain item in my trail mix? What would I say to kind of catch everybody's attention? I move. I move. When those two words, that is two words, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when those two words are said, what does everybody know that you're trying to do? Trying to get something done, right? So I move is the key. And then we'll sort of go through that. Now, for some of you, you're going to be old hats at this a little bit. You're going to be able to get this done and know kind of where we're going. Some of you are going to kind of learn by the demonstration today, right? So we were wasting time. Let's go. I'm hungry, right? So one tap in FFA signifies kind of to get everybody's attention. And then how many taps does it take to start a business meeting in FFA, student organization?
3.
Good guess.
2.
Just 2. 2 back to back. I now call this meeting of our first period FFA Animal Science and Horticulture 1 classes in order. Madam Secretary, Ms. Harris is our secretary today. What is our only agenda item today?
Our agenda item today is to make trail mix.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The chair reminds the group that we've got one thing to do today and one thing only, and that's making Chex Mix, right? All right. What is the pleasure of the group?
Mr. Chairman,
Chair recognizes Bella.
I move that we put all of the M&Ms in our trail mix.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and it has been properly seconded that we put all of the M&Ms in our trail mix. All right, I'm writing this on the board so that you can see the motion because now doesn't typically happen in a business meeting, but I want you to see specifics to that, okay? I didn't put the I move part up there. That's kind of given, yes? No. The motion has been made and properly seconded. We put all of the M&Ms in our trail mix. This motion is debatable. That means we can fuss about it. It's amendable. That means we can change it. And requires a simple majority vote. What does that mean? What does that mean? Simple majority vote. All right, well, whatever the most people in here want to do, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Is there any discussion from the group? Now I'm putting my teacher hat on for a second. I want to hear some discussion. A chairperson would just call for the vote if nobody wants to discuss, but I'm putting my teacher hat on for a little bit. Is there any discussion? And I'm going to force you to discuss. Is there any discussion? Now, Bella, this is advanced parliamentary procedure. The person making the motion should get first recognition by the chair if they so choose to. Now, if not, that's fine. And that's something you probably haven't been taught before, but the person making the motion should get first precedence to get the discuss. So in other words, if you and Addie rose at the same time, I'd give you recognition because you initiated the motion. Is there any discussion? Mr. Callahan.
Oh.
I'm putting you on the spot.
All right.
That was completely inappropriate of me to do, but I'm forcing you to discuss. Mr. Callahan, I thought I heard you ask for recognition. Mr. Callahan.
Well, what if someone's got diabetes and they can't eat all this?
Okay. Any further discussion?
Mr.
Zaya. Come on, Zaya. Jessica. I heard somebody ask for recognition right here. Jessica. All right, this gentleman right here.
Well, what if someone is allergic to raisins
Okay.
or just don't like them?
Any further discussion?
Mr. President,
Bella.
I believe that diabetes isn't gonna be a concern in our class, and chocolate's good, and I urge you to vote for this new motion.
Any further discussion? Yes.
What if I don't like them? What if I don't?
Now, let me put my teacher hat on for a second, and he's kind of stirred up a little bit here now. He's mad at Bella. It's like, I'm gonna go. So remember, and I'm not fussing at you for this, but I'm giving you this great example of why the floor members should address the chair, because I'm getting a little stirred up, and she ain't gonna say that in here and not get away with it, and get away with it. So I'm gonna look at her and I'm gonna tell her what I think. And see, that's one of the reasons why old Robert came together and said, you're always addressing the chair. And a lot of times we break that rule, that happens, but that's a good example as to why, because he looked back and you could see the fire in his eyes. He put up with her crap. Any further discussion? Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of putting all of the M&Ms in our trail mix signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
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 The ayes have it, motion passes. We will put M&Ms in our trail mix. Now, I'm gonna put these right here so we can see what goes in. Excellent, you got something done, right? Michael and our FFA meetings, start pulling that I move stuff out. We're gonna get somebody's attention and you'll get something done. And we move things along the way. What is the further pleasure of the group? What is the further pleasure of the group?
Mr. Chairman,
Chair recognizes Mr. Callahan.
I move we don't add any raisins.
Okay? Uh-oh. I just wanted to look at the box for a second to make sure.
Make sure there's some in it.
Yeah, I wanted to, I could feel that there was some there, so I just wanted to make sure. Is there a second to Mr. Callahan's motion? Motion has been made, probably second, that we don't add any raisins into our trail mix. This motion is debatable, it's amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion on the motion at hand? And remember, the discussion should revolve around this motion and this motion only. And remember, no other main motions are able to go on the floor at this time. We've got to talk about this one issue. Is there any discussion?
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think we should add not all the raisins, but half of the raisins.
Okay. I like what he's saying. That's the teacher hat, not the chairperson hat. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I don't think we should put any raisins in it.
Okay. Now, what would you tell your floor members to do? Two gentlemen have added some stuff. What would you, and I'm not saying that your discussion is bad. It was effective and it worked. But what would be something good to make sure that kind of added to your discussion a little bit? Telling that your floor members, your fellow colleagues here, what would you tell them that you want to do? Vote for or against this? Yeah, what did you say that you wanted to do?
I don't think we should put raisins in it.
All right, so what would you encourage them to do? Vote for or against this? Because sometimes floor members are not thinking really good, and they've got to be told exactly what you want them to do. Should they vote for this motion or against this motion?
For what I said?
Yeah.
They should vote for what I said.
All right, so he doesn't like raisins. The last thing I would have done, Nick, is I would have said, I encourage you all to vote against this motion.
Not to vote for this motion.
I know, that's right? Ms. Harris, right? What does Nick want you to do? Vote for the motion or against the motion? That's what I'm trying to get at. Sometimes it gets confusing.
Nick wants them to vote for the motion.
Yeah, because if Nick wants us to vote for the motion, we ain't gonna put no raisins in, right? My point is, it's easy to get confused. You got to be thinking, and it's good for the floor members to tell exactly what you want. Because again, it's easy to get confused. I just said it backwards and you did what? Well, I don't really know. So you gotta be careful in making sure that you tell them what you want to do. So just a fine 2 point, Nick did a good job, but it's always good to tell folks what you want them to do. Any further discussion? Hearing none, she'll take you. We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of the motion which states we don't add any raisins signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. We will not add raisins to our trail mix. And then I hear the yes. What is the further pleasure of the group?
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move towards adding all of the peanuts into the trail mix.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Motion has been made, probably second, that we add all of the peanuts in the trail mix. Motion is debatable, it's admissible, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion by this group? Discussion? Yes, sir.
I also second in that we should put peanuts in wellness center.
Is it Tajay?
Yeah.
Tajay is basically saying, hey, he supports this, right? You know, he's saying he wants you to vote for this. He's doing a good job. Tajay's telling, I second it. I like this. Let's go vote for it. So I like Tajay's discussion. Any further discussion? That's the teacher hat, by the way. Chair's not supposed to say that, but I like what he's doing. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of the motion to put all the peanuts in the trail mix signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. We will put all of the peanuts in the trail mix. And tell me your name. Isaac. Isaac, I like what you did. I like what you did because you were specific. How are you specific? All of them. It is a good idea for floor members when they're coming with an item of business to be specific. Because in the absence of specificity, is that the way you say that? In the absence of specifics, what happens? Well, you can get confused and what else?
The chairperson can interpret it however they want.
Yeah, without you being specific, then whoever's in charge, the people that's putting this stuff together, or in this case, the chair, then I'm open to evaluate that and interpret it. I like what you said, interpret it, whichever way I want to. So Isaac does a great job being specific, and that's encouraging when you're doing this. All right, that's the teacher hat. Turn that off, go back to the chairman's job. What is the further pleasure of the group in building our trail mix?
Sure.
Nick?
I think we should put the whole bag of marshmallows in
The whole put the whole bag of marshmallows in. Is there a second to his motion?
Second.
Motion has been made, probably second. We put the whole bag of marshmallows in. This motion is debatable, it's amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion? Why am I saying, hold one second, and Chair's gonna recognize that. Why am I saying all that crap? Every single time. Every single time. Why am I saying all that junk? Addie, why am I saying all that junk? Think for a little bit. You're not getting out without thinking. Why, and I've done it 3 or 4, well, I've done it 1, 2, 3, 4 times already, Addie. Why am I saying, while you're thinking, let me review. The motion has been made, probably second, we put a whole bag of marshmallows in the trail mix. This motion is debatable, it's amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion? Why am I saying all that crap? To be suspicious.
I can't say the words.
Okay, I am being specific, yes. And I'm doing what for the floor members? Telling them what they can and they can't do. And a good chair's going to do that. Should I get my way? This is in your material. Should I get my way? No, it's not about me as the chair. It's about me telling what you can and you can't do. And who makes the decision? The chair? No. Who makes the decisions? The floor members. So, and I'm telling you what you can and can't do. That's my job. So is there any discussion on this motion?
Mr. President.
Yes, Bella?
I move to amend by striking out the whole and inserting 1/4.
Woo-hoo, low. Say that one more time for me.
I move to amend by striking out the whole and inserting 1/4.
Okay. Is there a second to the amendment?
Second.
All right, what does an amendment do?
Change
It changes it. What's she trying to do?
it.
She's trying to change it. She don't like the specifics. And might be hard for you to read back here, right? Can you read that? I can't either. You saw where I put the little dot, and I put 1/4. She's trying to replace that wording with different wording. Now, let me tell you this. This is the teacher hat. We can only do the stuff that's in black right here on the board. Right now, did we have a second? Yeah, okay. Now, this takes precedent over everything else. One thing at a time. Remember Robert's rules, one thing at a time. So right now, we're only talking about changing those words, nothing else. No peanuts, no marshmallows, no honey toasted oats, no nothing. We're not even talking about the marshmallows right now. We're talking about the stuff that Bella wants to do. So any discussion has to go around that. The amendment has been made, probably second, that we add 1/4 instead of the words the whole. This amendment is debatable. It's amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion on the amendment and the amendment only? Discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Michael,
I believe we should add half instead of a 4.
okay? Further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of substituting 1/4 in place of the words the whole signify by saying aye. All opposed, no.
Division.
A division of the House has been called. That constitutes a rising vote. All in favor of the motion to substitute 1/4 in place of the whole, signify by raising your hand and keeping your hand up while I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. All opposed to the amendment, signify by raising your hand. Motion passes by a vote of 9-8. Wow, did you see that, Ms. Harris? What just happened? What just happened? Did you do the counting for me? The count was what?
8-8.
8-8. How in the world, Bella, did that motion pass?
I don't think.
Well, it was 8-8, and then the chair said the motion passes by a vote of 9-8. How did that happen?
Count yourself.
Then in that one instance, who has the chance to vote? The chair voted for or against? For the motion. Chair voted for the motion in an instance of a tie, and that's what happened right there. That's the only time the chair can vote while they're the chair. So the motion to amend passes. We will now substitute 1/4 in place of the words that were originally there. The motion before us now states, as it has been amended, that we put 1/4 of the bag of marshmallows in the trail mix. This motion is debatable, so amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion? Discussion, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of putting 1/4 bag of marshmallows in the trail mix signify by saying aye. All opposed, no.
No.
Noes have it, motion fails. What is further pleasure of the group?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Callahan.
I move we add half a bag of marshmallows.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is before us that we add half a bag of marshmallows. Motion is debatable, amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion? Discussion, hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of adding half a bag of marshmallows signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. We'll add half a bag of marshmallows. What kind of happened? Let's take and pause for a second. What kind of happened right there? We got in a fight about what? We got in a fight about marshmallows. It was kind of a close deal. It looked like we were gonna wind up not have any, so Mr. Callahan kind of fine-tuned it a little bit, and it looks like we're gonna have a little bit in there, and that motion passed, so we're kind of fighting over the amount just a little bit. What is the further pleasure of the group? Isaac, is that right?
Yes, sir. But I move towards adding half of the bag of honey nut oats.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Can I say box, Isaac? Okay. Can I do that? Can I do that? Can I ask for clarity on that? Yes, I can. He said bag and I just kind of like box. So it's a moot point, but it's a good idea for us to be very specific sometimes, and it ain't gonna make a big deal. But it's okay for us to do that before we move forward. Half the box of in the trail mix. Was there a second? Motion has been made, properly second. We add half the box of honey nut oats to our trail mix. And here's the thing that we can do, Isaac, on that. Before I announce that motion, we can ask for clarity. Any floor member can ask for clarity too. Any floor member can say, Isaac, can we put this word in instead of that one? They can do that. But once Bella, the chair, announces the motion, then it's set. Now it's property of the group now. Is there any discussion on adding half of the box of honey nut toasted oats?
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to amend by striking out 1/2 and replacing it with 2/3.
Is there a second?
No.
Second.
Ah, there you go. That is hating you now, Michael. What'd you say, Bella? 2/3?
Yes.
The motion has been made, properly second, to amend the main motion by striking out 1/2 and adding 2/3. The motion is debatable, amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion? Discussion? Hear none. Seems like you're ready for the question. All those in favor of the motion to strike out 1/2 and add 2/3 signify by saying aye. All opposed, no.
No.
Ayes have it, motion carries. You wanted divisions? You should have called for one. The motion passes. The motion now states, as it has been amended, that we will add 2/3 of the box of honey nut toasted oats to the trail mix. Again, this motion is debatable, amendable, requires a simple majority vote. Is there any discussion on this amended motion? Discussion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready for the question. All those in favor of the motion that we put 2/3 box of honey nut toasted oats in the trail mix signify by saying aye. All opposed, no.
No.
Ayes have it, motion carries. We will put 2/3 of the box of honey nut toasted oats in the trail mix. And we're going to do half of the bag of that. What is the further pleasure of the group? What is the further pleasure of the group? How do you end the meeting?
Oh, Mr. Chairman,
Chair recognizes Mr. Callahan.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion carries. We are now adjourned. Not bad, not bad. Pretty good, pretty good. Did you learn anything? What'd you learn? That was not a bad meeting. Did y'all accomplish something? Yes, you did. How did you accomplish something in a group, in a systematic way? And we got something done in a pretty short period of time. In 20 minutes, we built trail mix, and we fought over it a little bit too. Did we get it specifically adjusted like we wanted it? Yeah, and we went from 2/3 to 1/4 to 1/2, and all of that sort of stuff to be able to get this done. So, and we adjourned, so we ended the meeting, so it's over. I'm going to mix this stuff up for you. Ms. Harris is going to help you. Ms. Harris might do the mixing because I'm about out of gas now. That was kind of interesting. I know some of you like this stuff. Some of you probably, this is just, this ain't for me. But I